We got another picture of Okada on here.
Well,
That's hilarious.
The current Continental Champion, whoever it is, he's because Vlad says it's the least relevant title. I think it's the most relevant title, and to prove it, I'm always going to have a picture of the Continental Champion.
It's the least because nobody. Okay, I always get in trouble with this nobody stuff, but a lot of people don't care about this tournament or did not care about this tournament and thought it was a waste of our goddamn time. And I am definitely one of those people that thought the whole tournament was a waste of our goddamn time and a waste of TNA's time. And to continue to do this every
AEW.
Yeah, we were just talking about TNA, that's why. AEW's time. But anyways, all right, I'll leave it at that. You could leave El Cody wherever you could leave a picture of him wherever you want, man. He's all right.
Whoever the Continental Champion is, and it doesn't matter what you think, Vlad. This is the most purest championship there is in wrestling.
It doesn't matter.
It's the only championship where some goofball hasn't brought his goofball friend to try to help them behind the referee's back and shit.
Why not? Why can't they? It makes no sense. The fact that they could do this for just this tournament.
Well, that's why this is the purest championship, because it's.
Doesn't Ring of Honor have a pure championship? Isn't that one of their titles? It's a pure champion.
Well, pure in terms of no cheating. I mean.
So does Ring of Honor pure championship allow? Has there been cheating in that title?
Well, Ring of Honor in general, there's supposed to be no cheating. You're supposed to fight with honor, but some people don't listen to that. But
yeah, even they realize that that's stupid. that takes all the fun out of wrestling.
That is true. It does take the fun out of it, but still, it doesn't change the fact that
if you really like this type of stuff, I think you should really watch a lot more New Japan wrestling. If you really like this tournament style wrestling, which is seemingly you do, because you love this Okada. Or Cody Okada, whatever his real name is, you got to watch more New Japan because I'm sure they have tournaments like this all the time. But for me, that loves American wrestling, I don't care about that.
But I watched the New Japan show over the weekend, and there was plenty of cheating and interference. Just because it's in Japan doesn't.
Well, they didn't have a tournament. That's why. Just wait till they have a tournament.
I don't know what's up with the G1 climax. I don't know if they're allowed to have interference in that, Robert. I don't know. I've never seen one of them, but
I think I've seen interferences. It's been a while, so
yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are over there. Anyways, let's do a test run, and then we'll press record.
Sure. Yes.
All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smart Podcast. We don't need to hear the theme song again, Vlad. Whatever. I'm going to lower that down today. We're just going to get the show started today. It doesn't matter.
Hey, man. You run the show. Let's do it.
Yes. Vlad is here. Robert is here. Vlad, the wrestling expert. Robert, the frozen Asian. Thanks goodness you're here. Good to see you guys again. We're going to talk wrestling again. This is going to be another standard episode. For right now, we'll keep the format the same. Me and Vlad have been discussing possible changes in the future, but for right now, we're still going to do a show about last week in AEW and WWE. So we're basically going to do a review of everything that happened last week from Monday through Sunday, and then this should get you prepared. That should be a good enough review so that we could start off a fresh week tomorrow. It's Monday Night Raw. It's the debut on Netflix, so it's going to be a big show. We're gonna do our predictions and our preview of that at the end of this episode today. But for right now, we're gonna go through the topics that I have listed on our blog post, which I sent you guys earlier. So let's see what we got going on over there. Can you guys see that?
Yes, I do.
I got Internet Explorer out. Internet Explorer. Do they still even make that? But anyway, yes. I'm using Google Chrome. I don't know if they still make Internet Explorer. I either use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. I don't know if Internet Explorer exists anymore.
I thought, maybe you're right. Internet Explorer maybe something like, is Microsoft Edge now? Or I don't know.
Yeah, it's Microsoft. I think Microsoft Edge replaced
Microsoft
Internet
Edge
Explorer.
Works pretty good. I like it.
Yeah,
but for right now, I'm using Google Chrome. It uses a lot of memory off.
Is it Microsoft Edge or is it Microsoft Cope?
Oh my God! Well, before we move on, what do you guys think of that? Because that's not a topic on today's show. But before I start with topic number one, you guys like that nickname, Cope?
No, it's obviously the worst thing I've ever. I mean, he might as well stuck with his name. He might as well stuck with his name.
I don't know. I'll have to get used to it, but at the moment, I'm not a fan of it.
I feel bad making fun of it because it's the poor guy's real actual name, you know?
No, it's not his real name. His real name is Adam Copeland, and if he just called himself Adam Copeland, that's fine. But Cope is not a cool sounding name.
Well, it's a truncated version of his real last name, I guess.
I get it. I mean, of course I get it, but I understand he wants that 4-letter thing, but it's not going to be as good. Okay, even if you're not going to be as good as Edge, it doesn't have to be Cope, for God's sake.
Yeah, I know. It seems a little uncreative, like, to use your actual name. Like, you can come up with anything. You could come up, your name could be like Starfighter or some shit. I don't know, whatever the fuck. Anything, like anything cool sounding, you know? Or Destroyer. It was a Destroyer before.
There were numerous Destroyers, probably.
I don't know. If I thought about it more, I could probably come up with something. But whatever. He wants to be Cope. That's fine. We're probably not going to talk about much Cope today, but I will talk some things from AEW a little later on. We'll also discuss the AEW participants in Wrestle Dynasty over in Japan. We don't really cover much New Japan, but for today we will, because it was such a big show and something that they really promoted on AEW TV, so we'll at least go over the results. But for right now, let me address the controversy from last week, because if you guys want to just listen to wrestling talk, I'll put bookmarks at the bottom of this video. We could just jump straight to the wrestling talk. But this is the controversy from last week. A couple people noticed, Robert, that the votes didn't add up in our Moment of the Year award. There was some controversy. The one that Hangman Page ended up winning, and a couple people pointed out, including Vlad, that Hangman Page didn't actually get as many votes as Cody.
I did it, Robert. I made sure this travesty didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
I recounted it myself. I'm like, this has to be wrong. No,
well, okay. So
it was just a chance. I was reviewing the video of us discussing it, and that when you started adding it up.
That's all right. Someone else noticed too. Someone else asked me. They asked me, did I miscount the votes? Just like Vlad asked me, did I miscount the votes? And the answer is no. I did not miscount the votes. I straight up rigged the votes. I rigged that shit. It was my award show, and I felt like Hangman Page deserved that award. Okay, and I was not going to give it to Cody because Cody didn't deserve it. You want me to give it to Cody just the same way everything else is handed to Cody, huh? The Golden Boy, WWE's Golden Boy. Well,
Jesus, Kevin Owens, take it easy. Take it easy, Kevin.
I was not going to give that award to Cody because Cody finishing his story was not the moment of the year. Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house was the moment of the year because that was the craziest shit that happened all year. And I don't care what anyone says. Boy. And Hangman Page does not have to return that trophy. He could keep that trophy. All right? That's his trophy. All right. Moving along.
Okay.
Wow. I did not expect that to take. Wow. Okay. Fantastic. Wow. All right. Moving along.
Topic number 2, I would like to promote to the audience. We're probably not going to discuss much from Raw or NXT today because we got other topics to discuss. But we did review Raw and NXT via our YouTube posts. So you could check out the links in the description of this video. I'll post the links to the Raw and NXT clip. Raw, me and Vlad and Robert all reviewed every storyline. Thumbs up, thumbs down. A few comments here and there. NXT, that was just me and Robert. So, Robert, I don't know. I thought it was an uneventful week on NXT this week, so I didn't include any storylines from there on the show. But for completeness sake, it is over there in the description. I'll put another link to it, and also in our YouTube post if you guys want to check out any of our past reviews. Man, Elora is all up in my face. I gotta freaking get this dog and wrangle her in. She's not letting me do this job. You know, in our early episodes, our early episodes, in the first few episodes. I didn't have this dog, so those were the only episodes where I was like freaking free to do a podcast.
The first couple, she wasn't there.
I forgot like the first 6 or 7.
Mm.
Then, since then, literally, I'm doing this podcast with this dog in my face nonstop. Get out of my face, dog. It's okay.
Aw.
Okay. I gotta move back into the show. All right. So what did I do? I promoted our Raw and NXT posts. So let's move on to Wednesday. This past Wednesday, and we're gonna talk about from AEW Dynamite. This was January 1st. This was the mother of all simulcasts. It was simulcast on HBO Max as well as on TBS, right? So here's our first storyline of the day that we're going to review. It's already been reviewed. Our reviews are here online, but I'm going to show, I guess, some pictures first. I'm going to have to take off the Okada picture. Sorry about that, guys. I have Okada. I have Okada's picture as the current Continental Champion. I'm always going to have a picture of the current Continental Champion
Lord,
on our page to start our show because the Continental Championship to me is the best championship in wrestling. But anyways, let me. Well, it's the most purest championship in terms of, dude. There's no interference. There's no goofy shit like Roman Reigns bringing his whole family. You know, no disqualification. Everybody's fucking. everybody and their families coming in to fucking help and protect the. Like, stop it, dude. Just have a goddamn match. Anyways, Okada, the best wrestler in wrestling, but.
Oh my lord! All right, I needed to put some else on this team.
But let me move on to what happened with Ricochet and Swerve Strickland. Okay, so all right, so here's what happened. So we're on January 1st, Dynamite. It was called Fight for the Fallen, and Swerve was in a 3-way with Roderick Strong and Jay White, and the winner got automatic entry into the gauntlet for the gold match, I guess, that's coming up this Wednesday. And you want to be the first entrant because they say that if you're not the first entrant, it's not even guaranteed that you'll be in the match, right? So that's why these 3 were fighting. But I know that's stupid in and of itself. I know. I don't really like that. I don't think it's something to be fighting for, to be the first person in a gauntlet match. But anyways, Swerve was there and he was trying to win. And then Ricochet was in the audience, and during Swerve's match, he just clocks Swerve with a pair of golden scissors. Cool pair of golden scissors. And Ricochet, for the audio people, is dressed up in a blue suit with these dorky-ass glasses and a tie, right? So I'll talk about his attire in a minute, but I want to review this scene as a whole. Anyways, Jay White ended up winning the match as Swerve Strickland was laying there in his own blood after Ricochet nailed him in the face with the golden scissors, and then everybody's gone. So this is like the match is cleared. It's over. And now this is the post-match. This is the afterbirth. And Swerve is already fucked up. So here's some images of Swerve just in his own blood. Here's Ricochet scaring off Prince Nana. Actually, I think he did actually throw Prince Nana into the steel steps, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's right.
Yes, I think I have a video of it here. Here's a clip of Nana trying to help and trying to take away the steel chair and getting pushed away. So here's Ricochet grabbing the chair and taking a seat like I guess like a psychopath, man. I don't know how else you could put this. He seemed to be taking pleasure in this, seemed to be laughing at Swerve's face. And this was the day after, the show after World's End, when Swerve embarrassed Ricochet by giving the whole crowd toilet paper to throw at Ricochet, right? So this was Ricochet's revenge. And it was surprising, and I thought it was pretty damn good. So this is, I guess, the Undisputed Kingdom coming out to help Swerve. I don't know how that fucking related at all. I kind of forgot why they're the ones who came out to help. But yeah, so there's Swerve. He's pretty happy with himself. He's got a white dress shirt that's filled with Swerve's blood. There's Swerve, and there's Ricochet. So reviews. I got reviews for this storyline here. Hold on one second. Let me take off this nice picture of Ricochet, who was dressed up to the nines. But I'm going to remind people, because we have updated, Robert, I don't know if you knew this. Well, you
I
did
saw
know
that.
this. Yeah, we have updated our review system. I added a couple of things. I added a loved it, which wasn't there before. So there's liked it with 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, really liked it, and loved it, a heart. So that's basically where most of our reviews kind of land, unless they're in thumbs up or thumbs down. But anyways, so for this angle today, or for this storyline, let's see, I gave it a loved it. So I freaking loved this, and Vlad, the wrestling expert, gave it a thumbs up. So he actually liked it. Interesting, something from Ricochet that he's given a positive to, plus 1 point on his Dynamite review. And Robert really liked it. So Robert's at a thumbs up, or 2 thumbs up, sorry. Okay, so who should I get to comment on this first? How about I start with Robert? Robert, you really like this a lot, so let's hear some comments from you.
Okay, well, at this point, we already saw that Ricochet turned heel, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Some of his mic work was just, it was just okay, but we never really seen okay, fine, it was bad. It was bad, but we've never really seen like a really sadistic side of him, like ever.
Yes.
Even back when he was in WWE. So it was really fresh to see this side of him finally being unleashed on screen. And I don't know where we're gonna go with this, but it was a refreshing change for his character. Like all we've ever seen from him in WWE is matches here and there, and if he did say anything on the mic, it was very, very brief, not showing much character. So this is something new. This, for me, is new territory for Ricochet, at least on a big stage. Like I don't remember what he's done in like the Indies, but I'm curious as to what comes next from here.
Yes, I will go next. So I gave this a heart. I love this. All right. I like the look. I think the look, they've got it down for Ricochet. He's kind of dorky, and he's got that suit, but he's still doing crazy sadistic things, which makes him like kind of like a serial killer type of guy, honestly. So I think it worked. I don't know if you saw Wrestle Dynasty, Vlad. I don't know if you know that Ricochet headlined the Tokyo Dome for the New Japan.
You don't say.
World title, I guess. Yeah,
I know he fought Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird that he.
How did I miss that classic?
He got that title shot out of nowhere, but he didn't win. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to affect his character in what's going on in AEW. But for this scene in a bubble, and I'm hoping, I think this Swerve thing is working out really good for Ricochet. I'm glad Swerve is trying to put Ricochet over. He obviously bladed himself and try to sell this scene. But okay, let me move on to Vlad. So Vlad, you're the last one. You gave this a thumbs up. A positive, not you didn't love it or anything, but any thoughts you want to give about Ricochet here in terms of the Dynamite show that we saw from Wednesday night?
Yeah, this is like the first Ricochet segment in AEW that I've enjoyed at all. Interview match. I mean, maybe he's had some decent matches. I don't love that style, so it's not for me. But as far as, like you said, in a bubble, this was pretty solid. This was pretty good. This is, I mean, the only problem I guess I would say that I would have with it is that maybe it's a little too soon to, cut a guy with scissors. I think they could have continued their feud with something else happening before they went to this route. Like, it seems a little too premature to get to this.
You're saying if a guy brought toilet paper to hand to the crowd to throw to you?
Yeah, the response. I don't think my response would be to just cut his face up with scissors. At least not.
Okay. Well, then you and I are different, Vlad. Okay, go
ahead. That's saying it mildly. I know me and you are totally different, but I will say that like the bubble, this was really good and definitely the best Ricochet stuff I've seen. but I think it may just be a little too soon. As they could have done something else with them first, continue their feud where it's not to that extreme yet. But I wouldn't be upset if it got there, because I did like this. I did like the segment. I did like the moment. It looked pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. I'll leave it at that. But
All right.
It was still solid.
Cool. Let me move along. Give me 1 second. All right, let's move on to our next topic of the day. I'm going to stick on AEW Dynamite. All right, so we're at Jeff Jarrett. All right, well, let me pull up some pictures before I actually go through our reviews and what we thought of it. But give me 1 second, guys. If you wouldn't mind, give me 1 moment. I'll pull up some pictures of the handsome Jeff Jarrett. There he is. It's looking as good as ever. Honestly, the guy never ages a day. So what happened here? Let's talk about the storyline on this episode. So basically, there was going to be an announcement. Jeff Jarrett is getting on in years. I don't know if some of our audience knows him. I assume if you're watching our show, you're a pretty hardcore wrestling fan and must know at least of Jeff Jarrett and his history. But yeah, so he's getting on in years. I think a lot of people are surprised that he's even gotten any airtime on AEW as a wrestler. So retirement was on people's minds, and they were teasing it. You know, he's with his friends in the back. Jay Lethal, his wife comes in and has this little serious, poignant moment with him that she says she'll support him no matter what. And they hug each other. And the lovely Karen Jarrett sees Jeff Jarrett off to the ring, and they have a guitar ready for him, and he brings his boots like he's going to retire, and he talks about his history in wrestling, his family's history in wrestling, how he started TNA, and all that. And he teased that he was going to retire, and then he said he wasn't, and he's going to go for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship instead, right? He's like, am I going to retire? Hell no. And so there you go. That's it. We got a new contender for Jon Moxley's AEW World title. I don't know how many that is in the past few weeks who have been talking about trying to get at that title. I remember MJF mentioned it, that he's going to try to get his Triple B back. And, now Jeff Jarrett as well. Okay, well, anyways, let me jump to our reviews of Jeff Jarrett's stuff from AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. So let's see. What do we got? I love this. I love Jeff Jarrett. All right, for all you audience out there who don't know this, I'm just going to skip the formalities and tell you that Jeff Jarrett is not one of my favorite wrestlers. He is my favorite wrestler. He's close to my heart. I never hated him back in the day when everyone else did. I always found him funny and amusing, and he's given me a lot of good, happy moments in life. But Vlad is not with me. Vlad gave this a thumbs down. So Vlad disliked this, and Robert on our Malapert Smart rating system gave it a kind of liked it, and Orange Cassidy half thumbs up. So for you guys who don't know our rating system, Robert with a half point, a half thumbs up. Me with 3 points, I loved it, and Vlad didn't like it, so subtract 1 point off his Dynamite review. But let's see some comments. What did Vlad say? Vlad gave a comment in our review already. He said, what the fuck is Jarrett talking about here? World champion, thumbs down. Okay, and me, I'm like, hell yes. Why not give Jeff Jarrett? Would it really be that crazy, Vlad, to give Jeff Jarrett one last title run? Like a week or even a day. Like Christian can cash in on him right when he wins the title. Don't you think he deserves it? For all he's done in wrestling, in his life, and all he's given to wrestling, and all he's taught people in wrestling, you don't think Jeff Jarrett deserves one little tiny AEW title run? Like, what is AEW? Like, AEW is some prestigious thing that, we can't let Jeff Jarrett hold that belt. Come on, Vlad. Come on.
Well, you're talking me into it, but I still say no. Well, especially when you were saying, what is AEW? That's a great question. I've been trying to figure that out the last 5 years. What is AEW? But no, I don't think this would be a good idea because as much as I respect Jeff Jarrett too in wrestling. Everything that he's. I'm not saying that, It's just here in 2025, he's what in his mid. How old is Jeff Jarrett? Is he in his 60s? He's got to be.
I don't know. I'll look that up while you're making your comments, but go ahead.
But yeah, but I mean, no. I mean, look, I think he has a lot to offer a wrestling promotion. Like, he's creative. He can come up with cool finishes sometimes, and he can be part of the creative process. If I was using him as a wrestling owner or whatever, or or even if I was the booker, I would have him be part of my team creatively, because he has a great wrestling mind. But here in 2025, I'm sorry, Jeff Jarrett does not need to be the AEW World Champion. He doesn't need to have TV time. Historically, all of his AEW segments have been some of the worst, maybe in the history of AEW, honestly, with that big pinhead, gigantic guy and the misuse of, what's his name? Oh my God. What's the guy that's with him?
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal, who was a great talent that's been completely wasted in AEW. Look, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Jarrett's a great
Jeff
wrestling
Jarrett
mind.
is 57, by the way. 57.
Okay, so he's not yet 60. Look, I'm not saying he couldn't be in the ring, I guess. I just don't think he's ever really done anything worth of value for AEW in the ring. I think his best attributes now currently would be to be backstage, either as an agent or on the creative team, and that's what he should be focusing on. But that's why this kind of threw me. I'm like, what? Okay, I mean, he doesn't have to retire, but he definitely should not be competing for the world title. That's just stupid. And yeah, that thumbs down completely. I've ranted enough about this. I'll let one of you guys take over.
All right. Let's see. Robert, do you want to make any comments about Jeff Jarrett maybe potentially having a world title run? He got a big win over Aaron Solo this past Saturday on Collision, just in case. So he's on his way. Who? Aaron Solo, man.
Okay.
The Factory. QT Marshall's Factory.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know, man. I was liking this segment up until the point that when he said he was going for the championship. That's when I was thinking, okay, this is ridiculous. No, I don't think he should have a title run.
Oh.
This isn't even.
All right. Well, what if he has a moment where he's close to getting the title and like he seems like he's gonna win it, but the referee's down and he's would that be so bad then? How about something like that? The referee should have been counting, but the referee's unconscious, and everyone's like counting till 10, and Jeff Jarrett should have been champion. Even that,
with a lot of with a lot of interference, and I don't know. That's the only way I could see him have any sort of chance, but. No, he just. I'm sorry. I don't dislike Jeff Jarrett. I think he's cool, but no, I still don't think he should have a title run.
Okay, that's cool. All right, well that's enough Jeff Jarrett talk today. Let me move on to the next segment. All right, so the next topic I got on tap, we're gonna stick with AEW Dynamite. So I got MJF. MJF cut a promo. Well, he didn't really cut a promo. This promo was cut after World's End, after he beat Adam Cole, but it was a pretty damn good promo, so we'll just do a little watch along on this. Why not? We'll just listen to MJF's little short promo here, and let me pull that up.
Oh my God! Congratulations on your big win, Adam Cole! Oh wait, that's right. You lost. And it took you a whole entire army just to beat me up. Typical.
Well, he did mention that Adam Cole celebrated after that match. Well, he actually ended up losing, but they beat up MJF afterwards and celebrated like they won the match. So that's what MJF was mentioning when he said, oh, congratulations on winning. Actually, you didn't win, though. But
that was my comment last week, too, when we were reviewing it. That was exactly my comment.
That was very strange. But okay, so this is his goodbye promo to Adam Cole and his moving on to something else promo. So let's see what he's got to say.
Well, finally, The chapter of Better Than You, Baby of my career, finally 2024, comes to a close mercifully. It's time for the next.
Mercifully is right.
Friends, now it's time for retribution. See, something was taken from me. Something that I did not lose fair and square. My Triple B! My championship! Is now being paraded around in a briefcase. By a man who walks around claiming he's the king of these lands. Well, Dictator John, I got a question for you, bud. What's a king to a god? Because ain't nobody, and I mean ain't nobody, on the level of the devil. Nobody knows that better than you, hey, Johnny boy? See, John, I don't got a problem with you. For all I care, you can burn this entire company to ashes. All I want is my championship, and I don't give a damn who has it, but I am getting it. Come hell or high water. Because 2025, the devil gets his due. Part 2.
All right, let's stop it right there. Okay, so there was some very, very important stuff in there for people who've been itching for something good from AEW. The fact that he mentioned that he is coming back for his world title is a very important thing. And I know this kind of snuck into the show because it was a pre-tape and it was like only a minute long on the show. But I think it was one of the most important things on this Dynamite that happened on this mother of all simulcasts. But all right, what do we got as comments? So, okay, me, I gave it a loved it because I just see the potential in this, and I see MJF, as my comment says here, as the one and only hope, literally, for AEW. So this is the one thing that could save AEW if they can bring him back into the main event scene and have him be an important guy and in the important storyline. Vlad gave it a thumbs up. Robert gave it a thumbs up. So both of you like this. Vlad also said that it was a killer promo, but that he can't give it more than a thumbs up until he sees if anything comes of this for MJF. Robert didn't make a comment. So I guess I'll start with Robert. Robert,
Yes.
Are you excited about the potential of this? Are you seeing anything kind of good coming from this, or what?
Yeah, well, he deserves to be in the main title scene. He's the best in AEW. But all right, so I just think because he's basically addressing John Moxley, saying that he's gonna come after the title. I don't see him challenging John Moxley for it, though. I don't know how they're gonna make that work, because that would be
that's what I was gonna
heel
ask
versus
you,
heel. So I feel like maybe someone else is gonna take it off Moxley first, and then whoever that ends up being, MJF will challenge whoever takes it off of Moxley. I don't know. Could be Cope. I'm not sure, but we'll see. But I just don't see it. The title match being MJF versus Moxley.
Yeah, I mean, I could potentially see that. I mean, just because
they could figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah,
It would just be
AEW
kind
are
of
weird like that.
Yeah,
They do that type of heel versus heel stuff, and then maybe some wrench could get thrown in there or something. But okay, Vlad, what thoughts do you have? You have the same thought that we're not going to see that, or what?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think it's going to be Moxley versus MJF, but man, this was an amazing promo. It gave me a lot of hope for his 2025 because at least it reminded me why I loved him so much in the first place. He is an incredible talent when he's allowed to actually do stuff that makes sense for his character. And putting him in the world title picture obviously is a no-brainer. He's the best they got. He should be in the world title picture. I don't know. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Could it be Darby, potentially? I don't see it being Cope. Honestly, I don't see that happening. I have a feeling it's going to end up being Darby somehow. Down the line, though. Like, not right away, but at some point in 2025, MJF Darby could be a thing, and for the title. We'll see. But anyways, this gives me hope. But the only reason I only gave it 1 thumbs up is because I don't really trust AEW that much, and I have to wait and see what else happens with MJF for the rest of the year before I can say, well, this turned around his whole stay in AEW, type of deal. Maybe it will, and maybe it won't. We'll just have to wait and see.
All right. Well, that's a good point, Vlad. Fine. We won't give it that much time then, just in case that this falls off a cliff
Blows
and
up in
nothing
our
ever
face.
happens with
Yeah.
it. So fine. Let's move along. We do have more topics to get through today, so let's go to the next one. All right, so next on tap, before I move along completely, I will just mention that since we didn't really do a full-on review of Dynamite, we do have our review from me, Vlad, and Robert. We've already talked, or not talked, but we've already posted what we thought about every angle and storyline from Fight for the Fallen, and there'll be a link to that in the description below if you want to know what we thought of everything. Thumbs down, thumbs up. Real quick summaries. It's a real good summary if you guys haven't seen it. And also Collision, not a very, important show, Robert. Not a lot of important things happen. But I do have all the summaries from all the angles on there as well. So if you guys haven't seen what happened on Collision, you can go on there and check out my summary and my reviews. So that one is just me. You guys didn't care enough to review that. So that's just a solo review from Kahan the Malapert's Mark. Okay, so Dynamite and Collision. Other than that, it was a big weekend in terms of wrestling. I mean, I thought it was going to be a slow weekend, but whenever there's an open weekend, these wrestling companies try to fucking shove something in there. So this was in New Japan. This was New Japan's big weekend. They had 2 big pay-per-views, back-to-back days, Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. So they were kind of not even 24 hours apart, I don't think. Wrestle Dynasty started, I think, 12 hours after Wrestle Kingdom started. And commentators were like, yeah, everybody go get some coffee or whatever energy drink you need to get through this because, goddamn, it was fucking long. Wrestle Dynasty was a 5-hour plus show after the night before.
The fuck,
they had
dude?
already had a show. It was tough.
Fuck, man.
I don't know. I didn't watch all of it I wasn't focused, but I did have it on for a lot of it. So for the purposes of our show, since we discussed AEW and there was a lot of AEW related stuff, I'm not going to cover all the New Japan stuff on here because I haven't really been following it, so I don't really know what's going on with a lot of that. But anything that's related to AEW, we can just read through the results and see what happened, and let's see if we have any thoughts about it. So Wrestle Kingdom, that was the first night. And that was a New Japan show, exclusively. So there wasn't much AEW on there. I have the results on here if you guys need to see what happened. I think the one thing that kind of related to AEW on the first night was this one right here, if you guys can see.
Yeah.
It's Konosuke Takeshita won a match against Shingo Takagi to win what they call the Never Openweight Championship. And even on Collision, they did. It's just a championship. I don't know. It's just a title. But yeah, so it was a dual title match. It was title for title. The AEW International title was also on the line. So sure. Takeshita retained, and he also won another title. So he has 2 belts now. And then I think the other interesting thing was that Zack Sabre Jr. defended the IWGP World Heavyweight title on the first night, and then he also was main event for the second night too. So 2 nights in a row he defended the IWGP Championship. So let me see. Let's go to Wrestle Dynasty. So that's all I'll mention from Wrestle Kingdom. All right, but Wrestle Dynasty was more. This was they called it a New Japan and AEW dual promotion. Right? And I think they also said it was a Ring of Honor and a CMLL show, so I don't really know. But anyways, let's go through some of the results because this was
okay.
This had a lot of AEW stuff. So the Women's International Cup 4-Way, which they had all these qualifiers for on AEW television, and it didn't even make the actual show for Wrestle Dynasty. It was on the pre-show. So some people we know were there. Willow and Athena, the AEW, the Ring of Honor champion, was there, and Willow was there. Do we have pictures of this? Do we have pictures? This girl's name is Momo Watanabe. Momo Watanabe. So this is the girl that ended up winning. I guess she represented Stardom, right? Robert, do you know this girl at all?
I don't know who that is. No.
There's Willow. There's Persephone, I guess, representing CMLL. This is
Who was that? Let's talk more about this lady.
Persephone.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah, she was pretty good looking. I mean, but this was won by.
You got any more pictures of her?
Persephone? No, I don't. But anyways,
I lost my interest then.
What's this girl's name? Momo Wamatume or whatever? Watanabe. There you go. So she's the one who ended up winning. And Vlad, you know how you say, oh, they have these fair matches in Japan? No, this girl, Momo Watanabe, had this girl, a valet with her, and she helped her cheat. And while her valet was, distracting the ref, she had a baseball bat, and she clocked Athena with it, which was weird because Athena is a heel. Yeah, that was a pretty decent bat shot. I shot with a bat, but yeah. So there you go. I don't know anything about this girl, but she had someone who helped her cheat.
Sure.
There you go. How about Mercedes and Mina Shirakawa? That was a match.
Oh, okay. I
would have wanted to watch this.
Yeah, I don't have much highlights from it, but I just have pictures just to show what they look like. But Mercedes ended up winning, and I think Mina had some championship.
I like Mercedes' cool pink hair there. Actually looks pretty solid.
No, she looked cool. She did some cosplay thing. I don't know what she's supposed to be, but
well, I don't know. I don't know what. Okay.
It was a tough loss for Mina Shirakawa.
She took it hard.
She took it hard. Yeah, it was tough, but she lost the title. So I guess what's her name? Mercedes has 3 belts now. I don't know what the hell.
Oh Lord.
What's her title? What her title is? I think it's the. Hold on, let me see.
Something from Stardom, right? It's a Stardom title.
It was from the undisputed British Women's Championship.
British, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she's also the Strong Women's Champ. She currently was that before the Strong Women's.
Yeah, Mercedes was the New Japan Strong Women's Champion and
sure he was
the TBS champion. So now she has a 3rd belt.
How did the British get involved in this mess?
I don't know.
There's a Japanese wrestler and an American wrestler, and the British title is involved. Fantastic. You gotta love it. You gotta love this. I can't even say AEW because it's not their fault completely. This is also a New Japan thing, but okay.
All right, how about some more AEW people?
Sure.
Takeshita versus there's Don Callis.
So Takeshita on both nights, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, and he faced off against the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. And this was for...
Oh, God damn it, man.
But he ended up keeping both titles, so he won. I'm not going to show any highlights from that.
I don't think there were any, but that's fine.
The Young Bucks were in a 4-way with
they were involved?
the United Empire and Naito and some other guy. I don't know. Robert's favorite wrestler.
I have no idea who that is.
That's his tag team. That's Naito's tag team partner.
Sure it is.
But there's Naito. But anyways, long story short, the Young Bucks, these 2 badass guys from Rancho Cucamonga, they ended up winning the IWGP Tag Team Championships.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
They escaped from AEW from the Death Riders, and they went to Japan somehow. I don't know how the hell they.
Can they stay there? That's my only. Now maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they could stay there in Japan for the next couple of years.
I don't know. Our boy Jack Perry.
Oh.
He had a match.
God damn it.
Against who is this? He fought against.
I don't know.
Yota Tsuji, I don't know what this is, but
I don't know who
it
that
was.
is.
I don't know who this is, but it's for a title, some title over there. Jack Perry didn't win; he lost. So
Sounds about right.
other people on the card were Brody King and Claudio Castagnoli, but I'm not going to cover their matches. But the one I will talk about is Gabe Kidd. I don't know if you saw any of this, Robert. Did you see any of Gabe Kidd's match?
I didn't. No, I didn't watch anything from Wrestle
No?
Dynasty. No.
Well, here's our boy Kenny Omega, baby. This was his return match. It was a brutal match. I mean, these guys seem to have had some kind of feud or something where they really fucking hated each other. Like, it was pretty bloody. It was a long match. It was like hard fought. I mean, here's Kenny going through a table. I guess in his first match back. But he didn't really take all the damage. From what I saw, this was one of the matches I watched actually, and from what I saw, Gabe Kidd took a lot of the bumps. He did a lot of the hard work because Kenny's like, this is his first match back. But he did do an over the top rope dive. So here's our beautiful over the top rope dive from Kenny Omega, one of the best. One of the best at doing that. I will admit that. It's beautiful when he does that. But
artistic.
Kenny Omega with the win. Both guys dead, completely dead afterwards. So there you go. Kenny Omega is back, and he's supposed. Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Why is he crying?
Because it's beautiful to see Kenny Omega.
What is happening in this company? Why is he crying? He's not. Nobody died.
Oh, well, he's back from his diverticulitis.
Oh, these are happy tears. These are happy tears.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, shit. We thought Kenny Omega was going to die. Thank God we're seeing him back in the Tokyo Dome.
Well, that's true. We didn't know if he was going to wrestle again. That part's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the last thing I guess I'll quickly mention is, like I said before, we mentioned Ricochet and his heel turn on Swerve Strickland, but here he was headlining the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Dynasty against Zack Sabre Jr., who beat him with, I gotta say, I don't really like Zack Sabre Jr.'s style of wrestling. I don't even think it looks realistic. Like, all the grappling and stuff on the floor, like, it doesn't look like he's really trying to hold the guy down. They look like they're letting them hold them. So Ricochet ended up tapping out to some submission move, and Zack Sabre Jr. ended up winning, defending his title on both nights of this New Japan extravaganza, I guess. And at the end, he put over New Japan. There was a lot of New Japan pride. Everyone was like kind of fighting for the company they represented. So he put over New Japan, and the AEW guys were there to fight for AEW and all that. But in the end, it was a celebration of wrestling. So it was kind of a friendly competition, is how I would describe it. But okay, so there's my quick summary of Wrestle Dynasty. Do you guys have any comments on this card? I guess I will.
Yeah.
I will give it to Robert since he's more in tune with what's going on with New Japan and everything. Any comments on Wrestle Dynasty?
Couple things. I do like Brody King. I don't know if I've ever said that in any of the previous episodes. I kind of am a fan of him. So I know that he went up against David Finlay. Now, I haven't really kept up with New Japan in a long time, or the Bullet Club, but the last time I checked, which was more than a year ago, David Finlay was the leader of the Bullet Club. I don't know if he still is, or I don't know if the Bullet Club's still around. But I'm glad if Brody King went up against someone. At least it was someone that's not like some random dude I've never heard of. At least I know who David Finlay is, so that's cool. Now, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet on paper sounds like a matchup I'd probably have fun watching, but I have a problem with just the fact that that match was even booked. Because,
it was weird.
Because I do like Ricochet's his segment on Dynamite, but he hasn't really been positioned as a top guy in AEW, and he's going up against the champion of New Japan. How? You know, like
Yeah,
I
that is
thought
strange.
I would think that if you're gonna if this is like the New Japan's version of Forbidden Door, right? You would think that they would pit the New Japan champion against, if not the champion of AEW, someone that's at least on the level of, as that's considered a top guy in AEW. I don't think Ricochet is there, so that the booking of that matchup in particular is odd to me. And I'm not trying to throw shade at Ricochet. I think I would have enjoyed watching this matchup. It just, the booking, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, I feel you there. Honestly, especially amid his sort of like him working this new heel persona in AEW, it just kind of seemed like it didn't really fit the situation. I don't know.
Right.
To me, I guess it seemed kind of like a glorified house show. They just got whatever names they could get and kind of threw them into this mosh posh of a show. Vlad, do you want to make any comments about the Wrestle Dynasty show and how it related to, how they really fucking played it up on the AEW shows and everything? And, did you have any interest in, I guess you didn't watch any of it, but, you didn't really have any interest in watching it. Whatever comments you want to make as a guy who watches AEW and how they threw this at us.
Yeah. I mean, you said it was like 5 hours long or 5.5 hours long. Plus, there was a pre-show.
That was just. Well, no. With the pre-show, it was like 5.5 hours or something.
Gotcha.
And then there was a show the day before, Wrestle Kingdom, so it was 2 days. But
and how long was Wrestle Kingdom? And was that
probably the same shit, 5 hours or something?
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
That one I didn't know.
So they did 10 hours of wrestling within a 12-hour. Time frame.
And every show
here we are complaining about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was a lot of wrestling.
You continue to watch this at all because look, obviously I don't follow Japanese wrestling. I don't know what's going on in New Japan, but even the guys from AEW I would not really want to see at all. And I don't think you really have to worry about how this affects Ricochet specifically because I don't think a lot of people watch this pay-per-view. I mean, maybe the true diehards that watch Japanese and AEW, but there's not that many of them. There's got to be like maybe only 100 to 200,000 people that watch both companies and it would be like, oh, I can't believe Ricochet with what they're doing with his character actually fought for the championship and he lost, obviously, or whatever. No, I don't think anybody's going to mention that because this is such a hosh-mosh review that
Hodgepodge.
Yeah, whatever you said. It's like, I don't know. I don't think it really matters.
I will say the Kenny Omega match was interesting because it was a good match. And the Mercedes versus Mina Shirakawa match was also a pretty solid match compared to what we get from Mercedes and AEW. I thought it was pretty decent in comparison. The other stuff, I don't know. What's his name? No, I think I'm thinking of Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, forget it. Sorry. Tanahashi, your boy Tanahashi had a pretty good match the night before, but this is Wrestle Dynasty. Forget that. All right then, Vlad. So this was a waste of time for you.
I would say. Well, if I had to watch it, it would be even an incredibly waste of time.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is that a lot of people who cover wrestling and podcasters that here in America who cover AEW and WWE, they seem like they felt a pressure or a need to cover this show as well, just because they talk about it on AEW. They've been fucking promoting these matches for fucking weeks, if not months. So a lot of just regular podcasters who do AEW were all of a sudden doing watch-alongs with this and New Japan and everything. So it was interesting that it kind of got into the limelight and into the mainstream, at least for this weekend. I don't really know what people thought of it. I don't know if people were giving it good reviews or anything. I think some of it warranted a good review, like the Kenny Omega match, for example, but it was also really fucking long. So I don't know. I think that's basically all the time I want to give to it, unless anybody has any more.
I'll just say one last thing. For the Kenny Omega thing, I mean, his first match back should have been in AEW. I don't understand how how it's in New Japan. But okay, I'll leave it at that. That's their choice. You could. That's.
I don't understand how they had such a fucking blood feud. Like these fools fucking hated each other, and all of this guy Gabe Kidd's friends were there to try to fucking help him in this match. It seemed like a no DQ match too, so there was like all kinds of interference and chairs and everything. So I don't know how they had this like fucking blood feud match under our noses where. I follow wrestling. If there was something going on with Kenny Omega somewhere where he has this incredible feud going on with someone, I feel like I should have heard about it, but I didn't hear anything about it. But okay. Moving along.
Cool.
Next topic of the day. So I guess we're finally done with AEW / New Japan for the day.
Ooh.
I'm going to move on to WWE. All right. I know we usually focus on WWE, but for today, there was a big New Japan weekend, Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty. So I'm going to move on to WWE. All right. Some important stuff happened there too, especially considering the Netflix debut is tomorrow as we speak. Tonight, probably, as you guys are listening to this. If you guys are listening to our podcast as it's being released on a Monday morning, as it usually is. But okay, so SmackDown. Let's talk about what happened on SmackDown. I'm not going to go through everything. Once again, I'll refer you guys to our YouTube blog post. There's a link in the description below where me, Vlad, and Robert reviewed every storyline from SmackDown. For example, Solo Sikoa's meeting with Paul Heyman. And Kevin Owens running into the Bloodline backstage, too, which was an interesting segment. But for the purposes of today's show, I'm going to stick with the Bloodline stuff because the Bloodline is going to have a big tribal combat match this Monday. So I'm going to mention... Well, I'm also going to mention that Cody and Drew had a interesting segment because Drew showed up on SmackDown as teasing possibly heading to SmackDown. But we will focus today on the Bloodline Civil War and Drew McIntyre's involvement. So this is the storyline that I want to focus on today. So there was a big 6-man tag team match. It was the Bloodline against the OG Bloodline. 6-man tag for the main event. So I guess I have some pictures of this. Let me pull something up just so we have a frame of reference to talk about what's going on. So there was a big 6-man tag. It was Jacob, what's left of Solo's bloodline, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo against the Usos and Sami Zayn, right? 6-man tag team main event. And out comes Drew McIntyre. All right, so Drew McIntyre, who has been involved with Solo's crew in a way, right, Vlad? How can I describe this? I guess they had a meeting where Solo talked with Drew a few weeks ago, and Drew decided, hey, it's not you that I have a beef with. Even though you used to do Roman's dirty work, it's Roman that I have a beef with. So I found it very... I feel like his involvement in this is very important. And maybe it's just me looking into this, but I think he's going to be involved in this tribal combat match. Just because
it's a safe bet.
It doesn't seem fair. Like right now, all Solo has is Tama Tonga and Jacob. So he only has 3 guys, while the other guys have 4 guys. You know? So Drew was probably going to be involved. And I did mention that segment, Robert, with let me pull this off for 1 second, because we're not going to review that scene, but I did want to at least mention that KO ran into the Usos in the back, and I was thinking, Vlad, if you expect Drew to show up, it would make sense that KO would kind of want to be involved in this too, but I think he's got too much going on. The fact that he's feuding with Cody, and the fact that he's the WWF champion currently, he doesn't have a lot of time to, you know, get involved in this bloodline thing. You know what I mean? He's got to protect that title belt that he's got. So I don't see KO getting involved. But Drew is another story. Okay, so let me get back to the video I had playing, or the clips that I have of Drew McIntyre coming in. Okay, so Drew comes in to try to help Solo's bloodline in this match. So Roman's not there. All right, that was one criticism I had of this episode of SmackDown. It was the first 3-hour SmackDown, but they couldn't get Roman on the show. Roman couldn't be bothered to come to the show on the last show before they have Tribal Combat. So he let his boys go out there to deal with Solo's bloodline for him. But long story short, let's see what happened. So Drew comes out there, and I think Jey Uso dives onto him on the outside. So Drew didn't really have much to do with the ending of this match. He was just there to try to distract the bloodline. But in the end, Solo still is loved by Jacob Fatu, so let's get that straight, okay? Jacob Fatu still loved, so he's going to fight with all he's got in this Tribal Combat match, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But there was a splash, Uso splash, onto Jacob Fatu, and I think Jey Uso thought he was going to get the pin, but Solo comes in with a spike, and that was it. So Solo's bloodline with the win right before Tribal Combat, so that gives them the momentum, and there's Jimmy and Jay and Sammy dejected on the floor. No Roman to be seen as the show ends. No Roman to be found. All right, so I guess I'll go through our reviews real quick of the match, the main event match from this past Monday. So all three of us gave it a thumbs up. We all liked it. I don't know. I guess I didn't give it a higher score because, like I said, I don't really see what Roman Reigns is doing. What the fuck is Roman doing? Why couldn't he be there in such an important night? So I didn't get that. But okay, the big question I have coming out of this is that since Drew is so involved, and this is going to be a no DQ Tribal Combat match, is Vlad kind of sees where I'm hinting at this, that I expect Drew McIntyre to get involved in this match. So listen, before we give predictions for the Tribal Combat match, if anyone wants to talk about anything from SmackDown, here's your chance. So it was a 3-hour show. We had the last go home for this Tribal Combat match happened on that show. And also the Tiffany thing we're going to mention later, so don't mention the Tiffany thing. But if you want to talk about anything else, now's your chance, or else I'll move on. So either one of you guys, Vlad, Robert?
Robert, you want to go first if you had something you want to say?
Anything else besides the bloodline stuff? No.
Yeah, well, basically anything from the bloodline stuff, yeah.
Oh, I will say I did think that Solo's bloodline needed the victory here because they've lost a lot more often than they've won. So I would have booked them to win, whether they won clean or not. They needed to have the victory. All
right. Oh, did you like this episode of SmackDown? Sorry, it was a 3-hour episode. Did you think that
it was too long? You know what? I didn't know it was gonna be a 3-hour episode until halfway through when one of the commentators mentioned it. I'm like, oh man, I still have another hour and a half to get through.
You didn't realize it was gonna be a 3-hour episode until you realized you've been watching for 3 hours.
That's how they get you, Robert. That's how they get you.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be a big transition for me either, but it did take me a while to watch it. I kind of noticed it, it took me several sittings to get through it. Vlad, the 3 hours thing, did that throw you off, or are you okay? Are you okay, man?
I'm okay because, look, I don't watch wrestling the same way, I guess, as you or Robert. The stuff I don't like, I just kind of skip. So there was something I didn't really care for, I just ignored it or forwarded along. So I mean, I'm okay. But can I comment on the show? Like you said, I can talk about only the bloodline in this thing, or can I talk
anything else except Tiffany Stratton, because we got a segment for that at the end of the show. So
yeah. I mean, the match was pretty solid. The right team won. Nothing, it's all leading to that big Raw Netflix Tribal Combat stuff. That's going to be obviously very interesting how they book that. The Cody KO stuff with Drew involved in the opening segment, I thought was really, really good. Really liked that. That was a tremendous segment. where it seemed like Drew, well, didn't seem like it was, where Drew and Kevin Owens were working together to kind of get one over on Cody, even though Drew was like, when he hugged Cody at the beginning, I popped. Man, I popped hard. Like, man, this is fantastic. Drew was just killing it, bro. That was such. I laughed and popped at the same time, man. I was like, oh man, he is just in another world right now. He is so good, because that was a great moment. But I'm trying to think what else happened that I actually.
Well, there was that solo scene with Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah. That was. I mean, Paul Heyman, obviously sold it with that look that you're of the picture of, in the sense of like, I think it said that if he was to win the match, that he wants the wise man to still put. If he wants the wise man so bad, why did they fucking kick him out in the first place? I don't know. But once he wins this tribal combat, they'll have no choice. I guess is the thing, but to acknowledge him as the tribal chief, which makes me think he's not. There's really no chance he's going to win. But I mean, maybe there is a chance. I'm going back and forth if there's actually a chance. But we'll talk about that when we do the predictions. But yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it right now. We're going to the Raw Netflix predictions. Although our first one is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, let's stay on topic and let's skip to the Roman and Solo stuff, and let's do that first. So, okay, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa tonight, baby. This is crazy. First of all, it's not even a Raw feud; it's a SmackDown feud. But January 6th, and Netflix is such a big deal that they made this, and this is gonna be wild. It's gonna be tribal combat. There's no goddamn rules. Everyone's gonna be there. Like I said, even Drew McIntyre. I even think Kevin Owens should get off his ass and get involved. If he hates anybody who's friends with Roman, you'd think he would hate Roman, and he wouldn't. But he's not gonna get involved. But anyways, okay. I'll start with Vlad. You want to make your call? Go ahead and make your call.
Brother. Okay. It's actually tougher than you think, because obviously when Roman wins, obviously he's back to being tribal chief, and that sets him up for the rest of the year with whatever. And that puts this angle to bed and stuff like that. But then I started thinking like, okay, they could go that route, but what is that? We've always been talking like, what does that really do for Solo? Like, where does he go from here after he loses this? Like, goes to the mid card, competes for the U.S. title. I mean, like, he's going to take a huge step back if he's not the tribal chief. But man,
and The Rock, Robert, right? The Rock is.
I think that's the big thing. That's the big thing. Like, if predict okay, I'm going to predict that The Rock helps Solo win, and so Solo will be the tribal chief. But I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But that's what
all right, Robert.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Go ahead and make your guess. I know it's a tough one, but just lock something in.
I do think that if there's going to be any interference, it'll have to be by The Rock, I think. After that SmackDown segment where Solo said to Paul Heyman that, if I win, you become my wise man. I feel like that could be an interesting angle. Something that they could work with for a while. They might roll with it. So I could very easily see Solo winning this with help from The Rock. So you know what? I'm gonna go with Solo. It's a very tough choice, but I'm gonna go with a Solo victory.
I don't know. I think after all I've seen Solo get buried, I don't have any faith in him. I'm picking Roman.
Well, yeah, I see that too. Like, okay, Roman obviously smart money. But
I think Solo's just gonna get buried here.
Okay, but if you bury him here, what do you do with the like? What I mean, obviously he's a young guy. They have some kind of hope that he will be something for them down the line. They kill him here. I don't know,
but it just seems like this is what WWE do lately. They're gonna send the crowd home happy.
Right.
So I don't know.
I mean, I could see it, but
I think I think they're gonna set something up for WrestleMania, so why not have a solo
But I could
victory?
still see Roman becoming tribal chief and The Rock leading another stable against him. Like I could see The Rock
true.
leading Solo and Jacob Fatu against
Oh,
Roman's side.
okay. So maybe what happens is like Roman wins, but The Rock still comes out to challenge him for the actual, and then
Tribal
they
chief,
have their
yeah.
tribal chiefdom. That could also
Yeah.
happen. It's either one or the other. But I kind of with you in this, with Robert as well, in the sense of I don't want them to kill Solo. I think there's
Solo's already dead, bro. It's over.
but not if he wins the match. Not right. He's not. You agree that if he wins the match, he's not completely dead.
Yeah, if he wins the match, but
But you're saying there's
that'd be
very
tough.
little
He
of that.
doesn't even have Tongaloa.
He doesn't need Tongaloa.
He needs
Okay.
Tongaloa.
Tongaloa is the weakest member of the
The infamous
The infamous Tongaloa. Yeah, let's get it right.
Nobody knows
All
why
right.
he's infamous
right.
anyways.
Let me move along. We got to get through the rest of the card. It's not that much, actually, so there's just a few matches. But I started with that. I think the main event is tapped to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Is it really?
So-
Okay, I thought it'd be Roman, but okay.
I mean, it's kind of what I saw online today, so I'm not exactly sure, but I think
Yeah.
this is supposed to be the last match of the night. So
I
Whoa.
could see that.
This is my main event, so
Yeah. That's true.
I don't really see this having a conclusive ending, though. I don't think this is going to be the end of this. Whoever wins, I don't know.
I agree with that.
So, all right, Robert, you could start this time.
Okay.
You want to pass?
Man,
you
this
want to
is,
go?
this is
you wanna wait?
another.
You want to go to
this-
Vlad first?
This is another tough one.
And for the audio podcast people, if anybody's only listening, Robert's background is CM Punk arguing with Seth Rollins. They've given us a lot of good scenes lately. But-
I love that promo battle. By the way, that's if I put it. Dang, I don't know, man.
All right, let me jump to
I'm gonna
Vlad.
go.
Vlad,
Yeah, go ahead, Vlad.
You go first. Let Robert think about it. Let's see what you got.
I'm gonna go with Seth. I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Seth. I
So
think
you
he's
think
gonna win.
Seth might cheat? And
Yeah, he's gonna cheat. I think they're setting up a Seth kind of a heel thing, anyways. Sort of. I mean, he's kind of been a babyface, but I think he's good after this Raw. He's gonna be full-fledged heel. So
yeah, I could see him. I could see him hating Punk so much that he'll do something nefarious.
But I think we'll
Maybe-
continue their feud, and I see a rematch at the Rumble.
Yeah, I see a rematch at WrestleMania. I think that'll have.
You think they could push it that long? Okay, I didn't think about that, but I was thinking Rumble. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if they want to really push it that long, and if it's going well, I mean, they
definitely see a rematch. I don't see this being the last match for them. I think this is the first match.
Yeah, the first match. That's why I said to make it more interesting. For me, it would be if Seth won. So that's
I think
how
so
I
too.
book it.
I think Punk is the babyface and he's gonna win in the end. So I don't see him winning this one. But okay, Robert, I don't know if our thoughts have swayed you, but you gotta lock something.
Yeah, I think you guys convinced me. It's gonna be Seth.
All right.
I think it's gonna be Seth.
Hopefully Punk just hits him with the go to sleep and we never hear from Seth Rollins ever again. But okay, let me move along.
Well, no, I like this Seth Rollins. This version of Seth Rollins.
Everyone is great when they're hating on CM Punk. It's like the best version of everybody. When
That's true.
Yeah.
When they fucking feud with CM Punk. Drew
so far, yes.
McIntyre. Okay, all right. The next one we already did Roman and Solo. We got Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, another superstar matchup they've added onto this marquee episode of Raw debuting on.
Jeez, this is like a PLE.
Yeah.
Well, that was really just one more match after this, but okay. I'll start with Vlad. Is this the end for Liv Morgan?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, I'm not gonna. This is not even a hard one for me. I think Rhea wins for sure. I'm like,
You don't think this is another one they can extend until WrestleMania?
I don't think they should. I think it's kind of played itself out. I know they've gotten a lot of mileage on this, and they obviously Liv has killed it in 2024, as we said, and I think she'll still do great things in 2025. As her character's tremendous, but I don't think this can go on until WrestleMania or could it go to the Rumble? I mean, the Rumble's in what, like less than a month? Maybe, but I think I would end it here and I'd have Rhea win.
All right, me too. I think this is it. Robert, unanimous or what?
So they've had a great feud, but I do believe it's run its course, and it ends tomorrow night, or for those watching on a Monday, it ends tonight.
Right.
All right. Last match we got, which I think this is going to be before the tribal combat match, is what I'm thinking.
For sure. This will be
so, and then they'll both be involved in the tribal combat match itself. But much like Drew McIntyre beat Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event, I think Drew McIntyre is also going to beat Jey Uso here. So that's my prediction. Robert, do you want a prediction on this?
I picked Drew to win this one.
All right, then. Yeah, I think we all will, right, Vlad?
Yes, I agree.
Drew's the man. Drew's the man.
Drew's the man lately. And it makes more sense for him to win.
All right, and then the beginning of, we don't know what the fuck this is, but John Cena begins his farewell tour, which is supposedly going to end his last year as a wrestler, kind of like Daniel Bryan, right, last year. So I guess he'll be starting his feud with Final Testament, right? I expect Karrion Kross to go out there and slap him across the face.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm thinking. But no, I don't know. I don't know what the hell this is going to be. If anyone wants to make any comments about John Cena's farewell tour beginning tomorrow, I don't know what the hell we could see from this. Maybe he could show up in that Bloodline tribal war. I don't know.
I mean, he's been involved in other Bloodline business, right? So maybe. I don't see that.
No,
I don't see him getting involved in that. But I do think that.
You got any ideas for final matches or feuds or anything? I mean, I gave one. I don't know. I don't know if it's good, but at least I gave one.
Wait, the Karrion Kross thing was real? That was a real thing?
Final Testament against John Cena. Yeah, at least that's something that he could go out on top and, win.
Wait, did he say what show is going to be his last?
Is it WrestleMania or no? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I mean,
he did say this will be his last WrestleMania.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to be his last.
I mean, I don't know. Does that mean he's going to go? See, the thing is, we don't know if he's wrestling all the way to the end of the year or what. But I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do with him. I mean, you would like to see him against Punk, for example.
Yeah, but they can't do that. Come on.
You'd like to see him against.
Cena is old. I don't see him having like a feud like that, like against a young superstar.
Well, Punk's not really a young superstar, so that could work.
Yeah, but Punk is he's a top guy.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I can't really figure out who he should work with, honestly. But I mean, you would think that it should be major, right? Because it's Cena. I mean, you don't think it's just going to be like an undercard thing. I mean, I don't know.
Well, he could get his win back against Solo because Solo fucked him up last time they had a match.
Yeah, last year.
And now since Solo is like dead and buried and, he's not going to be a top guy, maybe they could let Cena get his win back against Solo.
Jesus, you want someone to just get put over everybody lately. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know what the plan is for Cena. I mean, I'm sure they have one, but I don't know what it would be, honestly.
So, my thoughts, I don't know what his last show will be. If it's WrestleMania, then I don't know. But if it's after WrestleMania, my choice for his final opponent should be Randy Orton. Because he had a very long rivalry with him. So that would be my choice if it's after WrestleMania. Because I don't know.
I don't want to see that personally. Really? But I mean, they had such a heated feud. I don't think they can conjure up some of that same heat. It'll just be like a respectful, old man feud where they just have a match. I don't really dig that idea. But it could be all right, I guess. I don't know. But okay, so John Cena's farewell tour. We got that to look forward to tomorrow / tonight. But okay, that's it. That's the predictions for Raw, and I'm basically done with the show. One last thing I want to mention, just because we have to fucking mention it, is that Tiffany Stratton finally cashed in. I know we were covering SmackDown earlier, and I didn't want to blow our last scene because it was it's such a surprise, right? But okay, fuck. I guess I'll show some pictures just real quick, just because this was such a monumentous occasion. And Tiffany Stratton, by the way, who was on our list of worst angles of the year last week with her Money in the Bank cash-in. So finally, I guess they were listening to us and our frustrations about how we were so freaking tired of this. So, but anyways, basically the way this happened was Tiffany turned on Nia. She made a conscious decision to fucking whack her with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then she threw Candice out of the ring, and Bianca finally hit the KOD. They teased this so many times on Nia, but this was impressive. You got to admit this.
That's a tremendous thing. Yes. Yes.
How the
I
fuck
would not deny it.
How did they do that? I don't understand that. But okay, so after Tiffany did all the hard work for her and did the KOD on Nia, then Tiffany grabbed Bianca, and I'm sorry, Bianca did all the hard work,
Right.
and then Tiffany grabbed Bianca and flung her into the announce desk, and then Tiffany finally fucking cashed in. And this was my problem with this, by the way. This is why I gave this segment a thumbs down, because doesn't the champion have to at least get to their feet before you ring the bell? Nia was out cold. No, come on.
That happens all the time.
No, they don't. They got to stand up. Watch the old cash-ins. Anyways, Nia never even stood up. Tiffany hit the moonsault, and there you go. Tiffany's the champion, and our torture is fucking over. Thank God. So there you go. Tiffany is the WWE champion, believe it or not. I guess you could put it that way. The champion of all the women in WWE. So there you go. Any comments? I think you guys gave this thumbs ups on the review thing, and I gave it a thumbs down because I think the champion deserves a chance to stand up before you ring the bell. I'm gonna be a stickler for this.
I don't care. I don't care about that. What I did like, yeah, I guess who cares? Stand up or not stand up. That's. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. What does matter is that this was finally a good Tiffany moment with the briefcase. I thought it was cool how she did it, or how they did it, I should say. I kind of enjoyed that. I mean, now does that excuse the last, what was it, like
hundreds of times,
6 months that she's had it, and it's just been terrible storytelling and booking of her, and this whole thing with Nia and what's the other girl that's with Nia now?
Candice.
Yeah, Candice.
Candice really failed Nia, by the way. That was fucking terrible. But
yeah, I mean, who cares about Candice? Anyways, that's not again. I was a fan of Tiffany. I was starting to really become one prior to her winning the Money in the Bank. But the stuff like with her and Nia, I did not really enjoy at all. Like how she was like so afraid of her and ready to do anything around her. I got sick of it already. So I'm glad that they did this rather quickly in 2025. And we'll see what happens with Tiffany and how long she has the belt. But I like this as a segment, just in a bubble. I enjoyed it. That's it.
Well, before I let Robert comment, the final comment of our show today, I will mention that I just have a very, very harsh criticism, a harsh critique of the Money in the Bank and the way it was used this time. And mostly because every time it wasn't going to get cashed in, we knew, obviously, like she would be all hesitant, like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Can I do it? Should I do it? So when that happens, we know it's not going to happen. So it's just a fucking waste of our time. When it does happen, usually it's easy to tell because they just end it real quick.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay, the only thing I didn't like is when she first came out, she like gave us like a fake out and she tossed the referee.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? If you were gonna end up
well, because she was gonna cash in on Nia, but then she saw Nia get up, so she fucking hit the referee instead. It was like,
okay, that part I didn't like. That was dumb because what if the referee never woke back up? I guess they could always send out another one, but still,
the referee, when she actually was going to cash in, the referee was holding his neck from when she just hit him a second ago. So, okay. Robert, you're the last comment of the night. Tiffany Stratton, the new WWE Women's Champion. What do you think?
So I gave it a thumbs up mostly out of relief
Yeah, I
that this
feel
is
you. I feel
done and over with.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I mean, that storyline just dragged way too long. Um, my issue is very simple. One of my top five worst angles of the year that I mentioned was the whole Otis thing, how he was hesitant to stand up to Chad Gable. This is kind of similar to that. You know, Tiffany's hesitancy to cash in on her own friend. So yeah, I didn't like it. So the thumbs up was more of like, oh, this is finally done. We don't have to deal with that dumb angle anymore. But I don't know. I feel like she'll be her personality type. I think she would make a good heel champion.
For sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be definitely more interesting than what we've had so far. I don't know what to expect, but I guess we'll have to stay tuned to the shows for that. All right, so that's it. Thank you guys for being on. I think we had a good show today. I think we got a good preview for the Raw Netflix thing, so I'll try to make that a little segment to post so people can hopefully catch that before Raw today. And that's it. All right, so let me remind a couple things, couple reminders. If you're not subscribed already, you must subscribe. Okay, this is the premier wrestling review show on the internet. Okay, we review everything. If we miss any storylines or angles, go to our YouTube posts, and we definitely will have it there. Okay, so we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're at 60 something or something like that. So we're almost there. And then the YouTube post. So I just want to remind people of that one more time. So we do try to, because we only meet up once a week here, the three of us. So we do want to keep you guys up to date, though, on a lot of the storylines that are happening throughout the week. We don't want to make you wait a whole week to get our reviews. So I'll just text Vlad, and then they text me back. Vlad and Robert, excuse me, and they text me back, thumbs up, thumbs down, some comments. So YouTube posts, go over there and check it out. Any shows from recent times, every single show actually, we got reviews over there. And that's that. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being on again. It was another good week of the Malapert Smart podcast. I appreciate your time. And again, I hope you're enjoying the wrestling. Look, if you ever stop enjoying wrestling and this is ever like work to you, then just stop. You know, it's not that important. But if you're enjoying it and you want to come on and talk to wrestling, then that's nice. And I'm glad to have you, and I'm having a good time with it still. We're almost 2 years into this. So I think in March, at the end of March, we'll be 2 years podcasting and doing wrestling talk and wrestling reviews. So, all right then. Vlad, thank you so much. Robert, thank you so much. And I guess I'll be texting with you tomorrow for the Netflix show. So enjoy and have a good time. And we'll get our reviews to you as soon as we can after the show. So hopefully the next day. Check out YouTube posts. All right, then. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you next time.